disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing.
Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to NBA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. In this episode, where we're going to be talking about the fight that we just had, fantastic unification, undisputed for all the marbles, heavyweight fight. Let me tell you, I was on the edge of my seat. That's the only part I needed of my seat, the edge. I was on the edge, man. It was a better fight than I expected. Let me tell you, much better fight than I expected. That being said, we're going to discuss about all the happenings that occurred, maybe look forward to the future a little bit, open up the phone lines for a little bit though. We are going to try to keep this one relatively short because then we got an ESPN card coming up, so stay tuned for that. I don't know for how long we're going to be here, but then again, we probably will be returning tomorrow to cover the ESPN card. All right, fellas, so before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. If you want to drop a couple of super chats our way, you're welcome to do so, although it's better to join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. But the most important thing is you continue to like, subscribe, spread that BDA gospel, all right? Don't forget you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and Spreaker at your leisure. And if you do go to Spotify, hit that 5-star rating, all right, guys? Hit that 5-star rating if you enjoy what we do. Don't forget you can also join us on Patreon, support us on Patreon. We just released a exclusive marquee documentary for everybody out there, boxing's most shocking moments of all time, and we'll look forward to making more volumes if you guys help us out to do that. We certainly enjoy doing them. All right, fellas, let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Mr. Medical, Skull K25, Action Jackson, Ravi Komop, Sebastian, 8 Count, Thunders Productions, Mark T, YouTube Channels X, Josh San Miguel, Round 1, J. Cole. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Where was I? Yeah, Jump Tube, Trey Asson, Skolky 25, Alfredo Contreras, Round 1, The Boxing Kangaroo, Baron Evola, Eparokua, Marcus Larwa, Darth Vader, many more people to come. I'm sure, fellas, thank you for joining us. All right, so we just had a fantastic fight here. In case you were living under a rock, Usyk decisions Fury by the slightest of margins. It was a split decision, right? Yeah, it could have been a draw. If not for that dramatic 10-8 round from Usyk that he pulled out in, what was it, the 10th round? I mean, my goodness gracious, that was a quite something, let me tell you. Hold on, let me just call a couple of people here. Start cooking with a little hot grease. Hold on a second, where am I here? You gotta give me 2 seconds here, fellas. All right. Yeah, so it was a split decision. It was. I gotta give it up for everybody that predicted this fight because everyone got something right, more or less. It was a closer fight than people expected. So the people that picked Fury weren't that far off. The people that picked Usyk by stoppage weren't that far off either because he did manage to hurt him. Something awful. And the people that said it was going to be worth the hype were right too. So again, everybody was right to a certain extent in their predictions somewhat. Usyk really had to put pedal to the metal to get that win. If it wasn't for his conditioning and his heart, I don't know if he would have been able to pull it off. Fury was on it. Jimmy, please mute your mic, man, because I hear the background there. I don't want the fight there to hear. Thank you, man. Yeah, otherwise you never know. All right, let's get right down to the panel here. Right off the bat, everybody here, we got, who do we got? We got Recognize, we've got Bucho. Is that Sobers?
Yeah.
All right, shout out to Sub. We got
Yeah,
Bucho
that's me,
Gonzalo.
bro.
All right, let's go with Bucho first because he was one of the guys that was saying that Usyk was not Neo and that this fight was going to be more competitive than usual. But Bucho, what were your thoughts on the fight?
Pretty good fight. I had my scorecard was 115, 111. 111 because of the knockdown. I had it for Usyk. I don't understand how some of these judges one judge had it for Fury. To me, that's almost a robbery. Yeah, and I always said that Usyk is not Neo. I mean, I knew it was going to be a close fight. Yeah, at the beginning, I had Usyk winning, but then I switched it to Fury by decision. Obviously, I got it wrong, but I definitely want to see a rematch. I think some people are, some people are saying that Usyk's going to knock him out in the rematch. I think Fury, the mistake he made was, first of all, he was going to the body. That was actually, that was some good work that he was doing, and I thought it was going to pay off later on. But then he stopped doing that. He stopped going to the body. And then he was clowning around, and as always, what happens when you clown around that much? You get fucking caught. Just like he did against Wilder. And that's what happened against Usyk.
So you're saying, yeah.
I don't know. Again, his nose got broken. He gave up, man. I think credit to Usyk. He never stopped coming, and I think he got his second win at some point.
Yeah, because Usyk looked like he was huffing and puffing there in the middle rounds. I thought he was. It seemed like he was going to get stopped in the middle rounds because of the body shots. But he did make adjustments, man. I think that's partially one of the reasons why Fury stopped going to the body, Butcher, because the punches, he was leaving himself open for the straight shots upstairs or whatever type of shot. By the way, shout out to Don Chile Relleno for his contribution by the super chat. He says, the homie Furioso is crying in the car, LOL. Nah, but see, I mean, like I said, a lot of people got a lot of things right. I mean, when you make a fight pick, like for example, I picked Usyk, but I didn't discount Fury. I was thinking, hey, Usyk better be on point, man. But I don't know. Then again, maybe Furioso was saying that Fury was going to win without a doubt. And then, okay, in that case, I can understand why people would want to talk shit. But I mean, this is something that you see after every fight, people talking smack. But
it's a competitive fight, close fight, and I want to see a rematch. And I think Fury could actually win a rematch, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it looks like it. Shout out to BlackCat997 for his contribution to the super chat. He says, I had it for Fury by a round, but to claim it was a robbery after almost getting TKO'd is absurd. Well, I mean, he has to talk the talk, man. You know how it is. He's posturing. Shout out to BlackCat for that, and shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution to the super chat. He says, stamina and will is king. I mean, that certainly has a degree of truth to it. Who else wants to go? We got a full panel here, so let's be mindful of everybody.
Okay, I'll just get in. Yeah, Gonzo, go ahead.
Yeah, I was pleased with the fight. It was a good fight, strategical. I was surprised that there wasn't a whole bunch of clinching and wrestling. That was a plus. And what can I say? Usyk landed that left shot was perfect on the chin. I mean, I picked Usyk by split decision, got the prediction right, and yeah, I mean, Usyk deserved it. What else can I say? Fury was dropping his hands too much and clowning around, like Bucho said, too early, and he got caught. Got to give him credit for his recuperative powers, but I mean, that wasn't enough. Just because you can take a shot and you're a tough guy, I mean, you don't get the credit. The credit is deserved to the winner, and that's Alexander Usyk. That's all I can say, really.
All right. Who else wants to go?
I'll say I'll give you my scorecard real quick. It was I had it 116, 111. I had it 8 rounds to 4 plus the knockdown. I thought the fight, I'll give you real quick. I thought the first 3 rounds, Usyk was in control. He was dictating pace. He was catching him to the body, a couple of overhand lefts. So not much from Usyk, from Fury. So I thought he won the first 3 rounds. The next 3 rounds I gave to Fury. They were close, but Fury was landing, I think, the bigger shots. And he looked like he staggered them a couple of times too, or at least got his attention. The 7th round was a swing round, but if you look towards the end, Usyk was controlling the pace, and he caught him with a couple of overhand lefts. So I gave him that round. That 8th round changed everything. That 8th round to me changed everything. He hit him in the nose, and I think Bucho talked about this. It looked like he broke his nose or something happened there. And then obviously what happened in the 9th round, and he almost got stopped. He almost got fucking stopped in that round. And I think pretty much from there it was all Usyk. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much all Usyk. Maybe Fury. I gave Fury another round. I think it was maybe round 11 or something like that. And yeah, Usyk just kept up the pace, man. That tempo. And Fury, you know, he got in good shape, but I think he schooled him. I think he schooled Fury. And look, they could fight in a rematch because there was opportunities for Fury to win. But I always knew that he was gonna need at least 2 chances to beat a guy like Usyk. And yeah, I think I got my prediction right. I called it a split decision. I said that he would knock him down at least one time. And he did that. And, you know, shout out to me.
Shout out to you. All right. Hold on.
No, I'm just kidding, man. Shout out to Usyk, man. That was a good fight, though. I really enjoyed that fight. It was good.
Real quick, shout out to Frankie Sainz for his contribution with the super chat. He says, I had it a draw. Fury had a lot of the middle portion of the fight. I'm happy, he says, with the decision. I'd have to rewatch the fight, but real quick, Recognize did remind me of the fact that the first two out of the 3 rounds, I did see Usyk landing clean with that left hand. So again, Usyk probably, if you give him 2 of those first 3, and then most of the rounds after the 6 plus that 10-8 round, it looks like, you know, it was a pretty clear decision for Usyk. But I want to hear from other people here. We've heard from Recognize. I don't know if Jimmy or Sobers wants to go, or Chief too. We got Chief too.
Us. You guys can go, unless you want me to go, BDA.
I want you to go.
I can jump in if y'all want.
All right, go, Soba.
I would say this fight was 3 parts. Like the first third of it was Usyk, and then Fury made some adjustments. And Fury made some adjustments in the middle part of the fight, and he took over. And he looked like he was almost going to stop Usyk in the 8th round. And then when Usyk landed that swiping shot, it looked like it really bothered Fury's nose. He took back over in the last third of the fight. So like they were making adjustments. It's just that Usyk was ahead. And Fury was coming back in that 12th round. Like he wasn't looking like he was destroyed. You know what I mean? Like Usyk was looking tired too. If there was 15 rounds, who knows? Maybe Fury could have came back in that last, you know what I mean, quarter of the fight. But I think it was a good fight. I would have accepted a draw. I think I had a split decision too, so I didn't call a knockdown though. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of people had a lot of things right. Like I said, some people said split decision, and we got the split decision. But some people said split decision, they got it for Fury. Other people said Usyk by stoppage, which almost happened. Some people said Fury was going to win, and that he was being underrated, and that almost happened. So,
can I add BDA? That sequence, it was like the 9th round. That looked like a knockout sequence to me. And when the referee came in and kind of stopped Usyk, he pulled one last left hand. He was about to launch out on Fury, and that would have took him out for real.
Yeah,
so really, the referee saved him, dude. That was a knockout sequence to me.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, should that have been a standing 8 count? We'll have to discuss that later. But real quick, before we continue on here, we got a lot going on in the chat. And we will be opening up the phone line soon, fellas. We just we gotta discuss the fight first here. Shout out to Marcus Larwa, who says, how do I call in? Again, we're going to be opening up the phone line soon, and you'll see the phone number right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen, and I'll be putting it up in the marquee as well. Shout out to One Foot Out the Door for reestablishing his membership program. He says, where's all the Fury nut huggers? See, again, people just, what we usually see after a big fight, people talking smack. All right, Jimmy, please, man. You're leaving us in suspense here. You go next.
No, well, no, to be honest with you, I think Fury won. Usyk definitely won that fight. I had him winning by at least 2 rounds plus the knockdown. That referee was clueless. He turned to look to the judge, to the corner judge. You see, right before he stepped in, he hesitated. He looked over his shoulder. What he was looking at, you have the down ref, the guy who starts counting on a down fighter. I don't know if the guy gave him a fucking signal like call a standing 8. It was bizarre. Listen, he didn't touch he shouldn't have jumped in there. What he did was save his life. Somebody just said, I think it was Soba, he was 1 punch away. If he would have landed one more punch, he was going out because he was already out on his feet. And also, I don't like that the ref at no time warned Fury about measuring or prodding. You can prod, you can stick your arm out there a little bit, but you can't lock your elbow and stiff arm somebody. You can't, like, when you're that much taller, there's a reason why they don't allow stiff arming or measuring to that extent. It's illegal. He was never even warned about it. And then even after he did the standing 8 count, which he wasn't confident on what he should do or not, he waited like a few seconds after, talked to him, but then wiped his gloves off. Like, that is just egregious. Like, you're not supposed to, like, you want to talk to him, you talk to him while you're wiping the gloves off. He talked to him, then wiped his gloves off. It seemed like, all right, I'm going to give you every chance to know it right there at the end. Like, I don't want this guy to land another punch on you. Also, I think deep down in Usyk's, he knows that he's gotten a little older. Listen, 3 years ago, he would have stopped him. He come out after that big round. He kind of fucking busted his nut. Kind of punched himself out in that round. I took the next round kind of off. I expected a little bit more out of him. I think it was just because he kind of punched himself out. But Fury showed hard. I think we could say, too, that it blows up the triangle theory. If anything, that proves that. Because, remember, Usyk's beaten Joshua twice, and Joshua destroyed a guy that a lot of people think beat Fury. Just goes to show you how little Fury took that fight with Ngannou serious at all. But overall, it was an entertaining fight. I think if they're going to have a rematch, Usyk would probably want to run it back sooner than later. I don't think they're going to want to wait until he gets much older. I mean, because he's older than him by 3 years older than Fury, I believe.
Yeah. I think about a year and a half, Jimmy.
Oh, about a year and a half. And it's, when you're always constantly fighting a bigger guy, it just takes much more work to do it. So props to him. He's the first unified champion. As a purist of the film, like, at the end of the day, I don't really even care who wins. I just want to see the fight, a good fight, and I want to see it reffed properly. And that referee was fucking horrible. I just thought he was a horrible referee. I thought the moment was too big for him. And, so it is what it is. Usyk definitely right now should be considered, because of all his work, should be considered the pound for pound, because of the magnitude of that fight and being the first unified heavyweight champion I've seen in decades, never mind the 4-belt era. We don't know if we'll see that again. Fury has, he did all right by himself, but he absolutely lost that fight. And I guess that's it right now. For now, we'll get into other new, stuff about it.
Well, let's hear from the Chiefster there, Chief.
Usyk did clearly win. There were close rounds that could have made the score closer to a 7-5 situation. So even if you thought it was a draw, though, with a knockdown, whether being a 10-8, then Usyk still wins. That would have been 114, 113. So there's no way it's an actual draw per se based off of that. The knockdown. There's too much history in boxing to show that the fact that Fury kept going up into the ropes on rubbery legs, that the ref did not have the right to go ahead and step in and give a standing 8. Too many different situations where it happened in many other fights. The way he handled it, Jimmy is correct on. Like, he didn't. It's almost like he did try and buy him more time, but jumping in was not uncalled for. They did the same thing with Holyfield and Burt Cooper and James Toney and Roy Jones. It's happened before. It's not unprecedented. As far as how hurt he was, and like that was one punch away from a stoppage, I can't say that. He was definitely going to go down. It would have been a shot that would have lingered a little bit, but we've seen, even though Usyk hits harder than he gets credit for, we know that punch for punch he doesn't hit harder than Wilder with his power hand, and Fury got it from Wilder's punches. So one punch from being over is, I'm not saying it's wrong, but there's nothing to show on that. It's a guess, and the fact the referee stepped in the way he did, he was somewhat justified for the fact it's done many other times when you're falling, but then the ropes or the corner stop you from going down. But again, Jimmy was right on how it was almost like he gave him extra time, because he didn't just like wipe his gloves and talk to him while he was doing that, make sure he was okay. So that did look a bit suspicious. Aside from that, the ebb and flow just shifted so much. And when I was watching on Sober's stream, I made the comment that there was a point in time when Usyk couldn't judge the distance anymore. And that was probably rounds 6 through 8, I think ish, when Fury looked like he was taking over. Those 3 rounds looked like he was taking over, and Usyk was walking into uppercuts and couldn't really time the whole thing. But like a true champion, he adjusted. He kept trying. He kept looking for that opening. He kept trying to take his. The one problem he ran into, age or no age, was that he tried to dial in too much to try and land those shots ultra clean instead of just throwing combinations, throwing 5 punches to land 2 good ones, and varying his attack like he used to, like Lomachenko does, from the body to the head, to where you start to like drop your hands a little bit to try and figure out, you don't know where the guy's punching from. You're gonna try and block something, which creates an opening. He wasn't doing that. Whether that was age or not, I don't know. But I can say the fact that it helped Fury look like he was getting back into the fight, because Usyk was trying to dial him in with that perfect shot instead of just staying busy. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter, because Fury clearly did not win.
Well, we got a couple of things we got to clear up here. First of all, the fight was better than I expected, and I think than a lot of people expect. I didn't think it was going to be, like Chiefs touched on it there, it was a back and forth affair. There were a lot of changes in momentum. And again, I think this goes to Fury's credit too, because a lot of people didn't think that Fury was going to be this competitive. So, I mean, shout out to them. And I was also pleasantly surprised, or actually pleased rather, not surprised, but I was pleased by the quality of the card. That we had some upsets. We had what's his name? That Turkish-German guy. He upset Frank Sanchez. Cordina got upset, suffering the first loss of his career. Even Maurice Brady's, although he got more or less dominated for most of the rounds, he came on strong in the championship rounds and made it entertaining. Nonetheless, hold on. Let me just say, hold on. I also want to say, Chief said something about watching a fight on Sober's stream. I don't know what he's talking about. Sober's is not. I don't know what he means by that stream. Just legally, I'm just saying.
Not a real person. Not a real person.
I don't know either.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I don't know what Chief was
person.
talking about. I think he was being facetious or something. But sorry, excuse me. Recognize. What were you gonna say?
It was satire.
No, I was just gonna say that Cobula. I think that's how you say his fucking last name.
Guy Caballero.
Yeah,
Dracula.
that guy.
Dracula.
He really made Frank. He really exposed Frank Sanchez's age, right? Like Frank Sanchez put on this. He put on this weight, thinking like, I haven't seen him in a while, so he looked like he's like a bodybuilder now. But it clearly wasn't working. That kid was mixing it to the body up top. He just kept doing that, and he just fucking got him out of there. So salute to that guy.
Recognize. Frank Sanchez was looking like diet medicine to make his body look young and strong, like his face on the inside. That's what happened to Frank Sanchez, bro.
And
his son was like, "Give me my birth certificate back."
And Mr. BDA, to what Chief said, I agree with. I think Chief gave a great breakdown. But the difference, I think, with Wilder, even when Wilder was put down in that first fight and he got up like Jason and Halloween, straight up, like the ref said, I looked down at him. His eyes weren't cloudy. He was exhausted when he went down in that last round against Wilder. It was more out of exhaustion, and he got up within 10 and stuff. He was out of it. Like he was stumbling back to his corner. And a big man getting up off the canvas, that takes a lot of effort for somebody his size. I think if he would have been put down on his ass or stretched out on the canvas and he started counting, then he would have had to bring his big ass up. That's why I stand by. I think if you would have caught him clean away from the ropes and he went down, I don't think he would have got up in time at 10, because unlike Wilder, he was actually hurt. You know what I mean? I think, you know what I mean? His eyes were all over the place. He was stumbling back to the corner.
You know why? I agree with Jimmy on that, because if you look at the 8th round, it looked like he broke his nose. Bucho thinks he broke his nose. I thought the same thing too. I don't know if that's official, and then the way he was dropping his hands and getting punched all over the place, I feel like that was like he was exhausted and hurt. And like Jimmy said, with all that weight, when he would have went down, not that he would have been out, he just probably would have not beaten the 10 count.
Yeah, you know what, man? I mean, I think it did seem like at least Fury thought it was broken. I mean, the way he reacted afterwards, just kept touching it. And again, one of the big mistakes Fury made was continuously laying on the ropes and leaning back. Even Sugar Hill in the later rounds, I think it was in the championship round, stole him. You gotta stop doing that. If he actually would have put the earmuffs up, I think he would have been safer. But he it's a bad habit.
I mean,
People need to recall that these professional fighters develop habits and they're hard to break sometimes.
Remember that fight between BDA. Remember Rigondeaux and Nonito Donaire. I think it was in the later rounds. Rigondeaux just catches him right in the cheekbone, and he fucked up his face. Remember that? It was like maybe the 9th round or something like that.
Yeah,
that's what that kind of reminded me of in a different version. That 8th round when he clipped him in the nose. It kind of reminded me of that. If you remember that, Donaire was a little weary. I think it was a little bit later in the fight, but he finished the rest of the fight like concerned about that, and you could totally see that. And I think that's what led up to the 9th round when he got dropped or whatever happened there. The referee called it a standing 8 count.
I want to give a shout out to Get Up Again for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "My dream came true. Usyk won. Told you." Well, glad you're happy with that one. Get Up Again. Shout out to everybody who's been donating with the super chat so far. We was certainly a fantastic fight.
Wait, BDA, that guy said it was going to be a stoppage in the 11th.
Is that what he said? I don't remember.
I think this proves
his dream. Yeah.
I think this proves that the large heavyweights don't always dominate. It's not the era of the big heavyweights. When a good guy that's on the smaller end, within the heavyweight limits, can certainly dominate, just like Usyk did, and it's always been the case through history. And you can also kind of dispel the theory that a good big guy is always going to beat the smaller good guy.
Right.
That's not always the case either. So I'm kind of happy for that.
That's a good point. That's a good point, because here's the other thing, though. Hold on, did I get another super chat? And Bucho, can you please check the list, because the last name I have on the prediction list is Zero Cool. If that's not the one you have, then somebody has the wrong list. So if you could just make sure to check that, let me know in the chat here or in the comment section. We're going to be opening up the phone line soon, fellas. Going to be opening up the phone line soon. Stay tuned for that. Shout out to Cat Daddy Whittle T. Okay, let's just call him Cat Daddy, which is weird enough. But shout out to him. Shout out to him for his contribution. He says, "Prophet caller, outlandish claims were wrong." All right, just clarify something for me, fellas. Did the Prophet, the guy who sounded like AJ, didn't he say Usyk stoppage, which almost happened? I mean,
He said Usyk stoppage in the 11th. He said a controversial because of a cutter.
Okay, so he was almost right then. I mean, we got to give it up to him. He almost, like Jimmy and the Chief were saying, and Never Sobers rather were saying, that could have been a stoppage. So, shout out to him. Like I said, a lot of people got a lot of things correct in this fight, even if they didn't pick the correct winner. Again, people make too much of a big a deal of getting the correct winner. Jimmy, you said that Fury was going to fight off the back foot, and whether it was because Usyk made him do that or not, whatever, that's what happened. But you also said it was going to be a boring fight. Were you pleasantly surprised that it was as fun, as competitive as it was?
Yes, I was surprised. I thought Fury was going to clinch more. I thought what he was going to do was two-piece him, like step back, pop, grab him. Pop, grab him, just smother any offense coming back. That would have been, because obviously this ref wasn't going to fucking say nothing about it. Just reach out and grab him. I thought he was going to snap him, and then anytime he got a little tired, just grab him. Honestly, that's what I thought Fury was going to do because of conditioning. But, I knew he wasn't going to step to him. I just knew that whole talk, he's just a little midget. He's a blown-up middleweight, all that other stuff. I'm going to bash him. It's like, no, you're not going to do that, dude, because you're not stronger than him. Height and weight doesn't equate strength. I mean,
Jimmy, there was a point.
Say it enough.
Jimmy, there was a point where I thought about you in the fight. So in the clinches, right? He was clinching them, but even though the referee did a pretty good job of stopping the clinch, I can see that Fury was uncomfortable with clinching with him because I think he felt Usyk's strength, and Usyk was throwing that left hand. He was getting the left hand loose and letting the punch go. And I think in that close range, he could feel that in that left. And he said, nah, I gotta be real careful when I do this shit.
It's one thing to call a blow. Hey, get it up. But when you straight nut shot a dude the way he did, I mean, he just punched fucking Usyk square in the fucking jewels. I mean, he didn't really even say nothing about it. It was just that he kept punching him on the hip over and over again, punching him in the hip. And the ref just never, it's like he wasn't seeing it. You know what I mean? Then I look at the guy, I'm like, the guy was
I
probably
think
like in
some of
his
these.
70s.
I think
So
some
I
of
don't know
these
if he's.
punishments were legit though, because even Fury, Usyk, you
Oh,
could
no,
see he was
absolutely. No, they were
like
mixed in,
he was doing pretty
Pucho,
good, and he
100%.
stopped.
Yeah,
You know, like I don't
absolutely.
understand.
What's up with what's up with what's up
But
with John? What's up with Tyson Fury's trunks?
No,
You know,
that's always he's doing the
He got
Lennox Lewis.
those things underneath his nipples, bro. Like, what the fuck? And he was trying to make fun of Usyk.
well, he's a leggy guy. But, you know, low blow, I'd rather have a low blow around the groin area than on the hip flexor. Like, people, those
yeah,
fuck you up, man.
yeah,
Those,
that
like,
hip flexor
Lomachenko.
hurts, bro.
Salito knew. Yeah, Salito, that's how he fucking kept trying to slow Lomachenko down, punching him on the hip. When you punch someone in the side of the hip like that, it just deadens your leg. You can go like your leg kind of goes numb. It takes the bounce out of you. And Fury knows that. I mean, he kept tagging him there, although he was going to the body and landing a good. It's just, I don't know. I thought the ref could have kept it a little cleaner, but I think they needed a bigger ref, either that or a younger ref.
I got a question
I
here.
don't know.
I got a question.
Yes.
Was Usyk slightly overrated by a lot of people? Because the reason why I asked is because
I think he was.
In our community, and when I say community, I'm talking about the YouTube boxing community. A lot of people were certain Usyk was going to win. But if you looked at the bookies, Fury was a slight favorite. And then on top of that, I forgot to mention, I checked the Ring Magazine Experts panel pick or whatever that they did on Monday, and it was 11-9 for Fury. So it seems like the mainstream media and the powers that be had Fury slightly ahead as a favorite. Meanwhile, most people here, in the YouTube boxing community, we had Usyk as a favorite. So which one is it? Was Fury slightly overrated? Was Usyk slightly overrated?
Community.
It's that whole theory about how people think that the big good guy is always going to beat the smaller good man, the smaller good guy. It's just ingrained in people's train of thoughts for like ever.
That's what I'm trying to say. Just to repeat the question, because I think I fucked it up. Was Usyk slightly overrated? Is what I'm asking.
Was Usyk slightly? No. I mean, look, if you can always overrate somebody. If you're overrating certain qualities he has as the best ever. Let's say if you were like, he's got the best left hand ever, I'll be like, dude, you're overrating him, right? But in terms of like the overall fighter that he is, I think Usyk is growing on people. He proved it against AJ. They're like, okay, now they're aware. They're like, let's see if he could do that against Fury. Now he's done that against Fury. Now I was on Never Sober's stream, which was a great stream. There were guys there that were like, nah, Usyk's gonna, he's gonna lose. Fury's too big for him. And even in the middle of the fight when Fury was taking over, they were like, it's over. But when they saw Usyk fight back, they were like, damn, and have the success. They're like, this guy's good. So that's the way I really measure it. When people watch him, they realize how really good he is. I'm not saying that these guys never saw him, but as they see him with the level of competition and still coming up with the same results, him winning these fights, I believe that a lot of times that's all it takes. All of these watch a fight, pay attention to his fight, and they come out with a different perception of Usyk.
I think he was a little bit overrated, just a little bit. I mean, people were saying it was like he wasn't gonna lose rounds. I think in my card he lost 5 rounds. We
lost about 4 or 5 rounds.
With Fury, and it happened. But at the same time, I think Fury also hurt Usyk several times. Even the commenters were asking, why isn't he going after? Why isn't Fury going after Usyk after he hurt him? I think some body shots, were low. Some of them were legit. I don't know what happened. I think the thing is Fury was clowning around too. That's the thing. And then I was rewatching right now the knockdown, what led to it. And Fury he has his hands down. And if you notice in that fight though, after he got knocked down, the round after, Fury kept his hands high and nothing happened. Nothing. Like Usyk tried to go again for a knockout, he couldn't do it, and he had to back off because as soon as Fury had his hands up, there's nothing he could do. So the clowning around needs to fucking stop. The overconfidence needs to stop. And in the rematch, I think it's gonna be a different fight because this is similar to Fury Wilder. The first fight, he's clowning around. He's like, "Oh, this looks easy," and then he gets caught. This could again, this could happen in the rematch where Fury comes in with a different game plan, not dropping his hands, being focused all the fucking time.
If they fight in a rematch and he beats Usyk, and if he beats Usyk and you see him fight different, Bucho, in other words, he has a different approach, I will know that this is the reason why he took this fight, the first one. He took this fight under the impression that, you know what, this is a fight where I might have to lose just so I can beat him in the second fight. I've always look at his history throughout his career. He has done this. You know, he didn't lose, but you know, he what was the guy early in his career? McDermott probably should have beat him. You know, second fight, Fury kills him. Derek Chisora, the first fight, it was a close fight. The second fight, he whitewashed him. The same thing with Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like that's his history. I think he went into this fight saying, "I'm gonna give him my best shot, but there's more than likely there's a good chance that I could lose this fight. So that way I could see what I have to do in the second fight."
And Bucci, I think a lot of his hands down stuff were just for conserving energy. You just it takes more energy to hold your arms up, especially when you're that big. You know what I mean? It's just that's a big body, a big heart to pump all those blood into the extremities. So to keep your hands down, you know, saves a little. I think that's what happened. But I think also a 33-year-old Usyk or 30, even 32 would have been able to apply a little more pressure because he definitely punched himself out in that round. He definitely needed to take that next. He took that next round off. And then when I realized he was a little punched out was in the 10th. Oh no, the 11th. I'm sorry. When he clipped him and hurt him. No, in the 10th. It was in the 10th. He hurt him again and he didn't jump on him. That's when I knew I'm like, okay, he's really tired. At that point, that's when I knew he was really tired. Usyk. And again, that's age.
It was the body shot. It was the earlier.
Yeah, but
body
he didn't
shot.
start. He didn't start fast though. Usyk didn't start fast at all, and that's when he was getting caught, like on the body. And it looked like he was confused, to be honest. I think a lot of those feints from Fury were actually working.
Well, didn't the first two rounds? Didn't Usyk win the first two rounds?
In my card, no. In my card, I had Fury winning. I think 1-1.
Okay, because I didn't see the first two rounds of the fight, so I can't.
Okay. No, I
had the first two for Usyk.
If you keep your hands like entirely like really, really high up there, I mean the size disparity there was like incredible. It almost looked like Nikolai Value versus David Hay, man. I was like, man, this dude is fucking huge. So you kind of have to keep them down in like the center of like your body because if you keep them too high, you know, you're exposing your torso, and Fury's going to get caught with straight shots to the solar plexus. But you know what? To the specific question, if Usyk, although he won, was he overrated? I don't necessarily think so because at the end of the day, yes, a little good guy can beat the big guy like it was proved today. But, you know, in reality, size does matter. That's what she said.
That's what I think.
That's
the saying.
If you put Usyk with the smaller heavyweight, Usyk kicks his ass. So it's not so much that the Usyk's skills are overrated. It's just that he was facing a gargantuan of a man. That did count for something, but at the end, it wasn't enough. The good smaller man beat the bigger good man. So it does matter, but not to the point where he didn't get the victory. So I don't say he's overrated. It's just the fact that he had to deal with the size.
Right.
Well, can I say something about the knockdown? Yeah, Fury has his hands down, but like he clowns around. But if you look at the knockdown, he throws a straight right, and then his left is low. So he got caught. So that's ring aware. That's just being aware of throwing.
He always does that
punches correctly. But sometimes, but against Wilder, if you look at the second fight, he wasn't doing those many. Even after throwing a right hand, he always hit his left high. He was way more focused. He was like on a mission. Here, I think he got overconfident because I had Fury ahead in the first part of the fight, and I was actually surprised, and so maybe he was surprised as well.
I tell you what.
And then he starts making that. Oh, by the way, he keeps his hands low and he's mid range. I mean, come on, this guy, he can't do that.
Yeah, he
needs
can
to
make
keep
those
his hands
mistakes.
high.
But
I don't care
Jimmy
how heavy
said-
his arms are. Like, you can be that fucking stupid.
Right, but think about it. Think about it. I think what Jimmy's saying is true because it happened later in the fight. You have to assume, like, look, we know Fury is very good at moving for a guy his size, but there's gonna be lulls in which he thinks he's safe, and like I said, those old habits, those bad habits, reappear again. They don't make these bad habits. They're not done consciously. So, I mean, yeah, but whatever the case, yeah, he fucked up and it cost him big. Now, I also want to say, this fight, Fury did much better in this fight than Joshua did in the second fight against Usyk. Because, yeah, Joshua did have Usyk in trouble in the 9th, I believe, in the rematch, but I never saw Usyk this exasperated like he was in the middle rounds. And the fact that he had to rally late to edge it out the way he did. I mean, I thought he was a clear winner. Again, I'm going to rewatch the fight later on, but I thought he was a clear winner, but it was very close. It was much closer than a lot of people thought. And I also have to give props to Fury because he did what Joshua tried to do in the first fight, which was you don't have to throw hard because you're that much bigger than the guy. You just have to throw quick. And it was working. But then Usyk, I suspect he made adjustments as well, which is partially why one of the reasons why Fury stopped throwing to the body. But yeah, Butcher, go ahead.
AJ managed to make changes for the rematch, and it was a little bit closer. He still lost the fight. Fury might be able to also pull off some changes for the rematch, and this fight I think was closer than AJ versus Usyk. So
it looked like way to me.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think it was the height. I think that a few extra inches, definitely the inches on the arm. And Fury's a better boxer than AJ. He's got a much better jab, especially when he turns sideways. Although I got to admit, I was surprised how many times he crossed his legs. His feet, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard Sugar Hill yell at him about that, say, "Stop crossing your fucking legs," and that's when you realize your fight is tired because that's like a cardinal no. You know, he would just. So yeah, I think what happened was for Fury, AJ's punches are easy to see by the way he throws them in his delivery. Fury kind of hides his because they come from the waist. He throws a lot of them from his waist, so they're harder to pick up. And the extra length, I think, was the difference, and just the overall size. I mean, he is a big dude, and so I think that had a lot to do with that.
Well, you know
Just
what?
Fury needs to stop going to the rope.
In a rematch, at the end of the day, like it's in boxing, it's not if you're gonna get hit. It's a matter of when. You're gonna get hit in boxing, and this is what's happening to Fury. I kind of see a little similarity with Juan Manuel Marquez. Look, Fury's been dropped 7 times now, and if you go back to the list of fights that he has recently, I think he's been dropped every time. So you could pretty much assume that next time he fights, he's gonna get caught with one punch and he's gonna go down again, because it happened against Ngannou, it happened against Deontay Wilder 2 times, and so forth, right? So it's not about if you're going to get hit. It's a matter of when in boxing. That's just the way it is. And when Usyk lands on Fury, he's probably going to go down again, and that's going to be the difference maker in a close fight. Once again,
I also want to.
Yeah, it's true, but. Yeah, go ahead. But I also would say that when he gets knocked down, he's not 100. He's like. I'm gonna do it quickly. So he gets knocked down in the first Wilder fight, right? He's outboxing the guy. In the rematch, he doesn't go down. He doesn't even get hurt. In the third fight, that shouldn't even have happened. Wilder comes in. He's again dropping fucking Wilder, and guess what happens? He's fucking clowning around. He's not thinking about keeping his fucking gloves up, right? And his hands high, and he gets dropped. And then Ngannou's a fucking circus fight, right? And guess what? The guy gets surprised.
Like BDA said, old habits die hard, Bucho. Do you think he's going to be able to correct that? That's just ingrained in the way he fights.
Exactly. Listen, I don't know. I'm going to pick Usyk in a rematch, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if Fury pulls it off. I saw a lot of things here that leads me to believe that Fury can win a rematch if he corrects some of these. Like, why was he on the ropes? Even Sugar Hill told him, like, get the fuck off the ropes. Don't walk onto the ropes. Like, he's backing up. He even corners himself. As soon as you feel the ropes, he was doing the things that we get. He was at the end, but he was doing that from the get-go, going in the ropes, getting in the ropes like that. You don't do that. He wasn't exhausted in the beginning.
He's a clown. In the beginning, it looked like he was trying to catch him. It seemed like he was trying to catch him with a check hook.
He was happy.
Jimmy. stabbing him with that jab to the body early. Usyk was. It was like a little stab jab to right to the body. Go watch the early part of the fight, and he continued it like later on too. He kept throwing that little, and I thought it was getting Fury's attention. It looked that way because I saw Fury would back up to the ropes. He would get like jab right to the body. It was like I call it like a stab jab. Like it's like stabbing him and shit.
All right, now let me say something here. First of all, people in the chat, Super Sardonic is saying that Fury's being a sore loser in the post-fight press conference. I sort of expected that because of all the talking he was doing, especially his father as well. But I also want to say something about the rematch. Bucho brings up a good point that Fury did fight the perfect fight against Wilder the second time. There was no clowning around or nothing. So I'd be interested to see if he takes it even more seriously this time. Because again, I think, believe it or not, I think he was surprised at how easy it was in the middle rounds. Because it did look like the momentum was going Fury's way and that Usyk wasn't going to get his second win. But then again, he did. I also want to clarify something that I said, because I said that Fury actually did better than against Usyk than Joshua did in the rematch. The flip side to that, however, is that never was Joshua in as bad trouble or as big a trouble as Fury was in that run. Again, Joshua did almost get... He was on the ropes in the first fight. Remember that, the last 15 seconds? But that was exhausted. That was due to exhaustion. The guy was reeling around the ring. And again, I'd have to rewatch that round because maybe the referee saved him with that 8 count. We'll have to go watch back and watch it. But now here's my other question. Oh, hold on, excuse me. I'm all over the place here. I'm trying to really gun it. Shout out to Amok for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to him. And he says, 8-4 Usyk. Fury needs a real coach. I expected a robbery win. Well, there you go. I mean, I think Sugar Hill gave him all the right advice, Amok. But it's just, it's hard to do against a guy like Usyk who's going to make changes and Usyk has to have one of the best gas tanks in boxing. To be able to walk a big guy like this down, you got to give him credit. And also shout out to Bushido Kai for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to Bushido Kai who says, technically the great smaller guy beat the good bigger guy. Could it be that the Titan size heavyweights are simply overrated? Normal size heavyweights.
Gonzalo said that,
Yeah. Normal size heavyweights get better I think he says competition. He says compilation. I don't know if that's what he meant. He says normal size heavyweights get better compilation than just being twice people's size. Good fight. That's a good point because we've had some behemoths these past 15, 20 years. And here comes along a guy who's not that small, by the way, 6 feet 3.5 inches tall. And within 6 fights, he's become the best heavyweight in the world. Shout out to Andy Light for his contribution with the super chat. He says, put Earl Stevens in the panel or we riot. what should we put? Hey, I think Andy Light called into Red Rep.
No, it's because
was becoming a Usyk fan right as the fight was happening.
Yeah, so look, BDA, Earl was in the Fury wins, they're better living on the
and Sobers, you're cutting off, man. Sobers, you're cutting off, man. You're using that.
Sobers, you're cutting off,
bro.
You're using the phone again.
Yeah.
The prison phone?
Yeah, come on. Okay, now here's the question then, because we got to get to the phone line.
BD, I forgot. Usyk got stunned too. I think he got staggered like around the 3rd or 4th round by Fury.
Yeah, I think so.
I forgot about that.
In the 4th round and also... And I think I want to say the 6th. I think he staggered him twice.
I think he hurt Usyk multiple times. I think Usyk felled him, but Usyk camouflaged him to the point where Fury wasn't.
He has a good chin too.
He's got a good chin, man.
Usyk was winning most of the fight, even the rounds he was losing. He was winning the ring generalship, but the reason why he was losing those rounds, he was getting caught with some big shots, and I was like, "Yo, Usyk, I hope you realize this guy's timing you, right?" But of course, he knows that. He's picking up on that. And he just never fucking stopped. He just made like a little tweak here and there. Maybe he like kind of hesitated a little bit when he came in, give a little hesitant look, and then boom, just continues to go at him. And I'm telling you, man, it was that little stab jab to the body. People weren't talking about it that much, but I noticed every time he landed it, Fury was backing up. He would just back up to the ropes.
Yeah, sometimes I do wonder whether those punches are felt by a guy that size, and I have to assume that maybe he did. Yeah, I think they do. I'm talking about my experience. I don't feel him, even from heavyweights. But again, he's a different type of guy. Maybe he did feel him. That's why he was backing up. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he.
Well, you're a phenom, right? You're
Well,
a
no, I'm not a
phenomenal
phenom. I'm
human
just
being.
Mr. I'm just Mr. BDA. You know, it is what it is. But also, I want to say something.
Mr.
Then
PDA, yeah.
go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
You know what surprised me, man, and this is a testament to Alexander Usyk's greatness. Around maybe the 7th round, you could give, in my opinion, uh, mm, you could probably give Usyk 2 rounds going into maybe like around the 7th. So in my mind, I told myself, basically Usyk's got to win every round after this. Maybe he can only lose one. He's got to win every round to get a victory, because if he loses 1 or 2 more, they're going to give it to Fury. But right around that point, that's when he turned on the switch, and the fight fucking turned like drastically, where he got the knockdown, and all of a sudden it's even. Now he wins another round, and now all of a sudden Fury's down. Like right around the 10th round. That was fucking crazy, because in my mind, I told myself, basically, Usyk's got to win every fucking round after this to get the victory, or at least the draw.
Exactly.
But then it just changed. And he turned on that switch. That's a testament to his greatness, because he's got like an internal clock that tells him when to fucking turn it on.
I think,
right?
You know what? That's a great point, Gonzalo. And because look, make no mistake about it. We were talking about this before the fight. Usyk has to redline it. There were people out there making predictions, talking, and I mentioned something. I said never underestimate the underdog, because some people made it. It's like the Errol Spence fans when they used to say, Errol Spence beats everybody. All he has to do is show up and he beats the guys. Nah, man. If you really want to dominate somebody and make it look easy, you have to be fighting at 100%, redlining it, almost busting up that engine. That's what happened with Usyk. If he wasn't for that engine of his and that wherewithal and that strong mentality, he probably doesn't win this fight. I mean, think about it. He had to go up there against the guy who was throwing bricks at him. This was not an easy fight for him. He had to redline it. And that's why I have to wonder. They asked him after the fight, they said, hey, rematch? And he said, yeah, sure. That's the only thing that's out there left for him, because Sanchez, who was considered the dark horse of the division, just got stopped. Makhmudov was considered, in some circles here in Montreal, the big thing. He got stopped back in December by the same guy, the Turkish German. Zhang and Wilder, they're fucking old. Jared Anderson's not the real deal. So what else is there left for Usyk to do? I mean, he's not going to fight Kurgovich. I mean, what does that do for his legacy? So it brings me to another question here. And by the way, fellas in the chat, we are going to be opening up the phone line soon. So stay tuned. I just got a couple more questions for the panelists. To piggyback off Bushido Kai's comment, where he says that maybe these Leviathans in the heavyweight division are being overrated now, these 6 feet 6 inch tall guys. Where does Usyk rank then? In the pantheon of all-time greats? Is he right up there in the top 10 after what he did? I mean, undisputed cruiserweight, and then within 6 fights, he beats bigger men. What do you guys think?
In the heavyweight division?
Of all time.
Of all time? No, I mean, then, because now we got to get into how good was this heavyweight division to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I mean, AJ and Fury, I don't know.
And going back to Bucho, how good was Tyson Fury all along? Because Ngannou fucking almost, he didn't beat him, but it was close. That was a novice. Wilder, who isn't that good, fucking had him down 2 times, struggling against that guy. So how good was Tyson Fury in order to rate Alexander Usyk's greatness in comparison to has he ever fought the best?
Exactly. No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think for his generation, he's one of the best fighters. One of the best cruiserweights of all time. But one of the best heavyweights of all time? No, why? Because
I just look at him as one of the best fighters to ever do it. That's how I look at him. Not even like heavyweight, cruiserweight. Obviously, there's guys that I think that were better than him, but I think he's like one of the greatest, to ever do it.
Pounders. I would say he's one of the best. If that even exists, one of the best powerful pounders. I mean, just because of the fact that he moved up in weight and fought bigger guys.
But look, So they said that he was 223, not 233, right?
Right.
So he was 223. He fought a guy 40 pounds heavier than him, and he fucking beats him. And he fought AJ, who was about a good 30 pounds heavier than him, muscle wise, not fat. This was a guy who was a champion, a multiple time champion, unified champion. and he beat that guy twice, and now he beat Fury.
I mean, Roy Jones beat John Ruiz, but he wasn't the heavyweight champion.
He
right?
wasn't the champion, right? Like everybody
No,
knew
it was Lennox
Lennox
Lewis.
knew it.
So
Yeah, of course. You know.
yeah,
You know,
right.
what's
Go ahead, Jimmy.
what's funny? Well, what's funny now? Fury could go right and fight AJ. No, I mean they both lost to Usyk. Who cares? I don't think it. I think it doesn't even take that much off the fight. I still think that would be a big seller in London.
Great
You know what
point.
I mean? So,
That's a great point, man. Yeah, that's
because
Jimmy.
he handled himself enough in there. Sorry, BD. Keep
No,
going, bro.
sorry. I was jumping all over you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. Carry on.
Yeah, well, 'cause I completely agree with you. That's a great, because I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, because we were all talking about how if Fury won this fight, it would, lead to the AJ fight, and it's still salvageable because he didn't exactly got embarrassed. So there's an incentive there to see the fight. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. By the way, Terrence Crawford on Twitter is saying, put some respect on Usyk's name. He might just be the number one pound for pound fighter. So he still doesn't want to give it up. But I'll say this, guys. Forget about all-time great then. But hold on. But forget about all-time great then, because that's what I introduced. That's too far ahead. Let's just talk about then pound for pound number one. Because I'll tell you right off the bat, I like Inoue. I'll give the edge to Usyk in this one because of the adversity that he has to face. Yeah.
Me too. I think I look at pound for pound a little different, bro. From these performances the last couple of weeks. Like, don't get me wrong, he's just a beast. Period. He's a beast. But Usyk is my pound for pound best fighter. He is. But when you become undisputed and you're undersized, okay, at heavyweight, and then like clearly win, good fights, but he clearly wins these fights, right? He's knocking, he knocked Fury down. Dude, he is when I think of pound for pound, he's the guy that shows up. It's like him, Lomachenko, Canelo Alvarez, these guys who fight dudes that you can just tell they're much bigger than Inoue, you know what I'm saying? Because he's just so dominant. Terrence Crawford, another dominant fighter, you know what I'm saying? But in that particular order, like maybe you could scramble it around here and there every once in a while. But to me, those are the best fighters in boxing right now.
Yeah, it goes with the territory, with the pound for pound list, because these motherfuckers are always trying to one up each other. And if you think about boxing at the cream of the crop, like at the elite level, that's the way it's supposed to be. You got to keep each other in check. And that's just going to always constantly be changing. Right, that pushes you to try harder. You see, now Crawford's snapping back. He knows he's got to do good in order to reclaim that spot in the minds of the people. Because the competition is so tough amongst the divisions, pound for pound.
Great point.
You know what's weird too? Pound for pound, the whole pound for pound conversation that started, I believe it was in the late 1950s, it was not for the heavyweights. You couldn't even count a heavyweight. The whole thing was made to say who's the best pound for pound if they were the same skill set as a heavyweight. So for years, you never even counted a heavyweight because the money, just the fan following and shit. So it was always, everybody below heavyweight who pound for pound could match up against so-and-so heavyweight. You follow me? That was the whole reason for pound for pound. It's now kind of morphed into every weight division. And even though I'm as big as an Inoue fan as anybody out there right now, right? I mean, gets my juices going, that fucking dude, because he's destroying people. But because of the magnitude of the fight, the size disadvantage, as of right now, I would lean towards Usyk. The only reason why I might be hesitant, he's winning the fight, but he's winning them. He's not dominating them. Whereas Inoue is going out and blasting people out 4 divisions above where he started. But that doesn't mean I still don't have Usyk right now. I would grant him pound for pound number one right now because of the magnitude of the fight and the size disparity. Like I said, you know what I mean? Exactly. For that reason only. Other than that, who's the most dominant champion? Without a doubt, it's Inoue.
Yeah,
he's obliterating people.
That's an interesting way of. I mean, we could go back and that's going to be a good conversation to have pound for pound going down into the year. I also want to point out the fact that wherever you have him, number one, pound for pound, number two, whatever, you got to give it up to Usyk because this guy's always fighting abroad. He's fighting in Poland, Russia, Latvia, England, the United States. He doesn't squabble. He doesn't, the ring, the gloves, rehydration, clause, catch weight. This guy says when, where. Olympic gold medalist.
They asked him about a rematch. He said, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he doesn't say, I'll talk to my team.
Bucho, of course. He's an assassin. That's what, it's just like, look, this is what I do. I box. Until somebody tells me you can't do it anymore. That's who he is. I'm going to run through this wall. Next wall. I'm going to run through that next one.
Boxing is for people like that. That's all I'm going to say. What? Super chat?
No, go on. It was in BDA because I told you I could barely hear you. You went to say something.
Yeah,
so I
think I'm cutting off here.
Yeah, you sound low, BDA.
Yeah. No, that's how it works. I don't know why. When whoever hosts, it's like, I just want to say something. You said BDA. Yeah, it's true. And remember BDA a few years ago when there were rumors that Usyk was going to move up to heavyweight, and some people were saying, this guy's going to get knocked out by Anthony Joshua. He's too small. Little by little, proving all these guys wrong. Little by little, with the Chisora fight, with this, and now he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He proved all these people wrong. Completely
You're absolutely
wrong.
right. You're right. You're right. And by the way, please do me a favor.
Remember, people were saying that he was too small. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm cutting off here because of the phone lines for some reason. Please do me a favor on the panel. Boost my volume up as much as you can. Click on my icon and boost that mother up to the because I'm cutting off here because of the phone lines.
Yeah.
But Bucho brings up a good point. Yeah, people were making it out to be as soon as he gets hit, he's going down. It's like there's not such. Even Wilder, who's considered the biggest puncher in boxing by some, he still doesn't touch you and put you out cold. There's no such thing. It doesn't happen. So people overrate power sometimes. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna hit him once and it's over. It's like, and I always say, okay, if he doesn't knock him out, what's Plan B? Is he gonna outbox him? Is he gonna outwork him? And I'm telling you, whoever's gonna take Usyk out, they're gonna have to be either do it with one punch, like they're saying, or they're gonna have to work at it the way Fury did here. They will almost pull it off, and it ain't easy.
You can't outbox this guy. That's the one thing. You cannot outbox this dude.
It's funny though. Bucho hit the nail on the head. There were so many people when there was first talk about him going up, calling into this show saying he will get swept at heavyweight. He's way too small. You know what Fury, Wilder, those guys would do to him? I mean, seriously, probably 50% of the people who called in said that back then. And like you just said, Bucho, now he's the fucking undisputed. So that's more of a reason why I have him number one pound for pound right now.
A shout out to Real Talk Boxing for his contribution with the super chat. He says, neither Crawford nor Inoue is beating somebody 40 pounds heavier and 7 inches of reach on them. Usyk number one, pound for pound. All right, shout out to Real Talk Boxing. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, that's another thing to be. I guess we're going to have another pound for pound discussion show because we had one after Inoue, and now we're going to have to go back here with Usyk. By the way, I've opened up the phone lines, and right off the bat, we've got a lot. So let's go to the phone lines.
Can I just add one more thing? I'm going to jump off to. Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, go ahead. My connection's fucked up here.
I was going to say you can't do that way. Because there's a huge difference. When men are over 200 pounds, whether it's 230 or 270, they're over 200-pound mammoth men. But when somebody's 5'5", 120 pounds, fighting somebody who's 5'10", 170, you know what I mean, or 160, that's two different animals altogether. So
you're too heavy, it's detrimental. It's negative on you. I mean, now you're too slow. Maybe there's limits. I think Emmanuel Stewart talked about that.
All right, fellas, don't forget to hit the like. Where were we at with the likes? I forgot, but with all the drama here, I mean, not the drama, but with all we got a lot of energy here after this fight. 112 likes. Let's get it to 120, and then we get to the phone lines. Otherwise, we don't get to the phone lines. And on top of that, I'm going to read from the Physics 101 manual.
You don't want that.
I got Newton's first law. I got Newton's first law of motion here, ready to go. So unless we get to 120, I don't know. We're 114. Okay, I guess people want me to read about Newton's first law of motion. Force, friction, gravity, inertia,
If you want to
mass.
go to sleep, if you want to start sleeping, you better start. If you don't want to start sleeping now, start hitting that like button.
I mean, we're one like away from 120. Come on, guys. All right. Okay, 121. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm going to keep the Newton's. I'm going to keep the physics book open.
Hey, guys. I hit the like button and my finger didn't fall off. It's okay.
There you go. Yeah. Listen to Gonzalo.
Right.
He knows what he's talking about.
Right.
Let's go to a phone line here. A phone call, rather. Let's go to 470. 470. You're on the air. 470. What's on your mind? Shit. Hold on. Physics. Go ahead, 470. What's up?
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So it was a great fight. I called in before the fight. I called Usyk. Late stoppage. Could have happened, but the referee made the decision. So I thought Fury. I was actually surprised that Fury did better than I thought he would do with the boxing. He did some good work in the middle rounds. He had some good tactics. I expected more dirty tactics from him, so I'm glad it came out to be a clean fight. I looked up the rules in boxing on the knockdown in the ninth round. So if you're hit and the ropes keep you up, technically it's a knockdown. So when Fury hit the ropes, the referee came in, and then he was saved by the bell, so the count didn't go to 10. But I'm not a fan of stopping fights when guys are hurt. So especially, with the stakes this high, being an undisputed fight. So I think everything worked out the way it should have with the knockdown. With the rematch, I said before the fight, Fury didn't have the physical and mental conditioning to beat Usyk in a 12-round fight. That was the case. Ninth round, he relaxed, was tired. Defense, was not tight. He got hit with that left hand. And I think Usyk strategized to throw those power shots late in the fight when he thought of what happened. There's one other thing I wanted to touch on that you guys were talking about earlier with the whole good big man beats a small good fighter. There's a lot of misconceptions about weight equaling strength. It doesn't equal strength. Even if you look at the history of boxing, there's a reason why guys in the heavyweight division were in the low 200s or, as high as like 220. I've never seen a guy in the 240s, 250s, 260s and higher box at a high pace for more than 7-8 rounds. And back then they were fighting 15 rounds. So, and in this fight we saw that Fury, he could not maintain his defense and his boxing past the 8th or 9th with Usyk, an elite fighter. And, a guy over 200 who's 6 feet tall, I mean, when it comes to strength, exercise, when it comes to bench press, pull-ups, squats, deadlifts, and push-ups, you can make yourself a very powerful man and maintain your stamina in the low 200s. So, that's what I wanted to say on that. In terms of a rematch, I don't know. I liked what I saw from Tyson Fury in that fight, in some parts of that fight. If he can get himself in better shape, I think he should come back. I think they're talking about October. I think he should exercise the rematch, and we'll see what happens. But overall, like I said, yeah, it was a good fight.
All right, yeah, it was indeed a good fight. Pleasantly surprised at how competitive it was early on. All right, well, listen, caller, we got to get to another caller here, but thank you for your call. Call back next time, all right? Take it easy out there.
All right, guys, yep.
All right, we got a lot of phone calls here, fellas, so bear with us. Try to make it concise, precise, and succinct. Don't forget the phone numbers right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 773. 773, you're on the air. 773, what's on your mind? 773, you're on the air.
For 6 motherfucking years.
Oh,
Alexander Usyk. It's a pound for pound. Can you hear me?
What's up? Because my connection... fuck, here we go. And my connection is shit here. We're dropping frames. We're going down quickly.
Any word on the gypsy?
Hold on. Fucking hey, my connection. Sorry about that, fellas. We're having connection issues here. I think we're overloaded on the phone lines here. I think that's what might be doing it here.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry about that, fellas. Okay, I think we're back now. On Discord. Okay, you guys on Discord, you might not be able to hear me or the callers all that well, so bear with us, all right, fellas? Bear with us, all right? But let's go to our phone call here. I'll try to get through them quickly so we don't have more prompts.
Excuse me.
Let's go to 404. 404, you're on the air. 404, what's on your mind?
On Discord, you might not.
Hey, what's going on? What's up, BDA? This Coach Eddie.
What's up, Coach Eddie?
Hey, man, that was a
Coach
great
Eddie.
fight, man. I enjoyed the fight thoroughly, man, thoroughly. The fight went kind of how I thought it. I've been saying all week on different shows. Actually, I picked Usyk to stop Tyson Fury. I had him with the stoppage, but it came close. It could have been, that round he got in trouble. He was in bad trouble. And like I say, man, this just goes to show, man, this guy Usyk, man, is a fantastic, talent, man. Everybody kind of counted him out. And when he had his first fight with, Witherspoon, he didn't look very good. And he with Chisora pushed him real good. Then he beat Anthony Joshua twice, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I'm happy for the guy. Congratulations to Usyk. He's a real champion. He bit down. He showed versatility, man. Like, he actually, backed Tyson Fury up the entire fight, man, which was a wow to me, because when he fought Joshua, Joshua was pursuing him. He fought off the back leg and was able to outmaneuver and outbox Joshua like that. Well, he took it straight to Fury, man. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. But I did know that he was going to attack the body. That's why Fury had his trunk pulled up so high. But it didn't work for him. And those body punches, that's what weakened Fury over time. But he was doing that so he could set the punches up upstairs, man. But, hey, got to give a man credit at the end of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a fantastic fight, better than most of us expected, and we certainly enjoyed it, man. Coach Eddie, we got to move on, man, but anything else you want to say before we do so?
Oh, no. But to me, like, this just kind of shows to me kind of why I always thought that Tyson Fury avoided Anthony Joshua, for the simple fact I always had Joshua beating Tyson Fury, just because I know Tyson Fury has a horrible chin. I've been telling people this for years, man, but people just act like I'm just hating on Tyson Fury. There's not been a fight that he's never been knocked down in. And his style is tailor-made for somebody like Anthony Joshua. That's why they stayed away from him. Because Anthony Joshua would knock him out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll stand on that all day, every day. But, yeah, that's my call, Coach. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. Good stuff, BDA.
Thank you, Coach Eddie. Thank you for calling in. Call back next time. Take it easy out there. All right, that was Coach Eddie. I think we got Kevin back, I think. I think this is Kevin. K-Dog, are you back?
What's up? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, man. What's up?
Got the connection? Oh, man, I feel like I've been saying Usyk's pound for pound best fighter in the world now for probably about 4 or 5 years. I wish Stu was around so I could rub it in his face. He's saying, Fury's would smash him. He smashed the little man, blah, blah, blah. I tell you what, Usyk is a real deal. And it's not an indictment on Fury. It's not about, he's overrated or this and that. It's just Usyk he's that dude. He's him, as the kids would say. He's him. Pound best fighter in the world. Olympic gold medalist. I mean, the resume go on and on. So, I mean, that's kind of how I thought to go. Usyk, this is what he does. He keeps the pressure. He's got the heart. He just keeps coming forward. He figures it out and gets the timing down, and eventually he starts opposing his will. And I don't know, Fury thought he was going to dance around him and stick a move. Usyk's not going to allow that. He's going to come and make his presence felt. So
there you go. There you go. All right, K-Dog. Yeah.
I feel like there's nothing else for Usyk to do. You got to do the rematch, and then that's it. There's nothing else. You're not fighting Joshua again. You're not fighting Zhang or Kurkovich. It's it. You did what you had to do. You cleaned up both divisions in everybody's backyard. I mean, what else is there for him to do? Go down and fight Canelo for a gimmick fight? Fuck it, let's do it.
Okay, come on, man. All right, shout out to K-Dog. Hey, listen, I'm not saying nobody's saying it's a good idea, but hey, it's an idea. K-Dog's coming up with some ideas. That's what he does. Shout out to K-Dog for his call. Let's go back to the phone lines here. Let's go to another phone call. Don't forget to hit the like. There you go. Let's go. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. It really helps us out. Let's go to our phone call here. Let's go to 347. 347, you're on the air. 347. What's on your mind?
What's up, gentlemen? It's NPR. How you guys doing?
Oh, NPR. What's up, man?
Mr. NPR.
What's up, buddy? I was the first guy to call in and say Usyk by stoppage, and man, was I close. And I said 10, and it was 9. It almost came true. But I'm going to go back to the point where I had listed in my last phone call. I listed 6 things that are Tyson Fury weapons that he wasn't able to do, and I was right about 5 out of 6 of them. He was not able to bully Usyk. Nobody's ever had success. He was not able to hold or grab Usyk. He was not able to have him against the rope. He was not able to establish any kind of head control against Usyk and not framing Usyk, and he was not able to lean on Usyk. Now, out of those 6 things that I listed, he was able to establish head control with the long guard, and he did that early on very well, actually. But other than that, those are 6 weapons that Tyson Fury uses on the little guy. And the reason being is because Usyk is perpetual motion. He's strong enough to push you off. And you could see that. The ref never gets involved. And so I also said that Usyk will out-cardio Fury and get a stoppage. And I also said that Fury has had one training camp, and it was basically a Jenny Craig and just a fat camp. So there was no way he was going to get back to that youthful look that we used to see in 2014, the kind of cardio Fury that can move around the ring slickly and do that kind of stuff. And that, not only that, but Usyk is perpetual motion. Now, he had success with the long uppercut, which is something that you're not supposed to throw, right? Fury had success with that in round 6. But I also said that unlike the Dillian White, what happens with Usyk is he's got all 3 dimensions of defense. And what that means is that for a longer, taller guy like Fury, what you're not going to get, even though he got hit cleanly with that in round 6 and a couple other times, what that meant is that these guys can never get a bead accurately. So it's an arm punch. So it snaps back the head, may slow the guy down for a second or two, but it's not clean enough to be a knockout blow like it was against Dillian White. The big guys, including Anthony Joshua, including Fury, are never going to be able to sit down on their punches. And that's why Usyk does get hit clean, but you can't knock him out, because it's very difficult to knock him out because or do serious damage, because they're never they're very tall, and add to that they don't get the proper leverage because he's perpetual motion. So you'll touch him, but you can't hurt him in the same kind of way that you can against a guy who's flat-footed. Anyway, gentlemen, I'm thrilled that the right guy won that fight today. They almost tried to rook my man, but it didn't work out. Later, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you for your call there, NPR. Always good to hear from you, and call back next time. Take it easy out there. That was NPR right there. Shout out to him. Let's go to a phone call here, fellas. Let's go to 832. 832, you're on the air. 832, what's on your mind?
Yo, what up? This is the straight Z2, bro, man.
Oh.
Let me start out by addressing this, right? Salute Recognize, salute BDA, salute everyone, right? I know Recognize says that Ryan Garcia is getting high, but I agree with Ryan Garcia. Actually, when I was watching it live, I thought Fury did enough to get the decision, but I don't know. I might change my mind now because I was kind of scoring it, and I did kind of forget a couple of rounds that Fury was. What's his name? Usyk was winning, and so I don't know. I think it was you got to give him credit. I give him credit. And I was talking to Earl Stevens earlier, right, about this. You do, because with somebody like Fury, you would expect him to push Usyk back, but yeah, man. Fury is special. What's his name? Usyk is special. Fury is too, right? But that Duke will always figure out his opponent, and he will always turn up eventually. And when he turns up, there's almost nothing you could do to stop him. It's just, I don't know, man. I kind of disagreed with Jimmy when he said that the ref kind of saved Fury. But looking back at it, I get where it's coming from now, because it did look like it was in the corner, because you know how usually when the ropes hold a fighter up, that usually means it's a knockdown, right? but Fury kind of wasn't, which I don't know. But I think eventually, either way, it should have been called a knockdown because there was like 2 times where the ropes held him up. So, but it's just the timing of it. Like at the time where the ref stepped in, the ropes kind of weren't holding him up at that point. But yeah, you gotta say pound for pound number 1. How do you feel about that, BDA or
I agree. I have him number 1 pound for pound right now. That's for sure, man. I mean, that nobody's doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's true. And J.O. Pataya, I expected more out of him with his fight from against Breedis. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I thought he won, right? But like, I think the decision on that fight was a little lopsided. Like 117-111. What do you think about that, BDA?
I didn't see the scorecards there. What did you say? You said Opetaya? Opetaya won?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Did he say Opetaya was up 11-1?
No, the judges
117-111.
had Opetaya winning 117-111. That's 9 rounds to 3. I think it was more like maybe 7-5 Opetaya because he lost to like the last 3 rounds, I want to say, and he was getting beat up. At least, definitely the last 2 rounds he was getting beat up. It kind of almost played out the same way the first fight they had. I think Opetaya's chin got broken in the first fight or fractured or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think they said it was broken the second one too because they said it looked like it was broke because they said that it was breathing out of his mouth. He had his mouth open.
Well, we shall see. Listen,
and also, real quick before I go, I'm happy that Joe Cordina lost. I think that was a hype job that got derailed. I think it was inevitable. Old media tried to push that guy on us, and he got exposed.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, but okay. Right before I go, Recognize was absolutely right. I gotta give him his flowers because he said it's gonna take Fury two tries to even try to beat Usyk, right? So he was right on that. But it was good, man. All right, man. I'm gonna head out, but y'all be good. All right,
man. Take it easy, Straight G. Thank you for calling in, man.
Peace, Straight G.
Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 973. 973, you're on the air. 973, what's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, boys? You guys are coming a little choppy, but the callers are sounding good, so I'm just going to say what I got to say quick. That was an awesome fight. I think it was really close in the middle round in particular, but I do think Usyk won at least 7 or 8 of them, and he cemented it. I was actually I going to smother him and smash him, or get totally smoked trying to box him, but he hung in there, so that was cool. I agree with Recognize. If you look at Usyk's whole career, I mean, if you on the road, Olympic gold, undisputed in 2 weight classes, with all 4 belts, with the crazy politics, the delayed fights, as a smaller guy, I mean, he's up there. He's up there with the GOATs. I'm not going to say he's the GOAT. That's almost impossible to do anyway. But he should retire, man. I could totally see Fury getting him in the rematch. He's going to be older. He always takes damage in these heavyweight fights, and I'm just glad I picked it right, and I can rub it in the face of all these sad Fury fanboys.
Come on. All right, well, listen, we got to move on here because, like you said, the connection's
Salute to the caller, man. Yeah.
Like I said, we got to move on because the connection's iffy, but thank you for your call, caller, and call back next time, right, man? Take it easy out there. Yeah, sorry, the stream is choppy, man. This stream is choppy today.
Oh yeah. Was he saying that he couldn't hear us, BDA? Is that
he can't hear?
Is that what he was saying?
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do, fellas, everybody, because we still have a bunch of phone calls. I'm going to reset my connection here, and so we'll be off the air for about 20 seconds. But all right, are we still on? Can you guys hear me? All right, hopefully that's...
I can hear you, BDA.
All right, hopefully that fixed it there. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Hopefully I don't have to reestablish them because I disconnected the router here. I mean, the internet. 714, can you hear us? 714, you're on the air. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. All right, what's up, 714?
All right, it's Quags. All right, I'm gonna make this
by a Usyk's left hand.
Me too. Feel like I got dropped by Usyk.
All right. I think Quags call back, man. I think because it fucked up here. Let's go to another one. 410, you're on the air. 410. What's your mind?
Call back, Squad.
410, what's on your mind? Nope. The phone lines are fucked up here. Real fucked up. I think I'm gonna have to reestablish.
Remember, Blog Talk. Remember, Blog Talk Radio is having issues. Remember that.
Right. I think that's it might not. I mean, it's my issues here, man. Listen, I'm gonna.
Remember that movie War Games?
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna disconnect.
PDA's got a modem like in War Games where you take the corded phone and click it on the modem, like the dial.
All right, I think we're back. Now the connection's still a little
obvious that time, and he didn't.
All right, see, that's the thing though. When I cut off the internet and I leave the Discord, these guys start talking right off the bat. So if I jump in, you're gonna hear them talking. So let's just see. I think we're back. Let me just write on the chat here. Refresh your stream, please. Refresh your stream, police. Should have written it PUH, police. Let me just put it there in the big marquee there. Where is it? There you go. No, that's not it. There we go. Refresh your stream, please. That's right. We are back. We are back. It's getting sweltering hot here. Let me tell you. We're having a heat wave here in Canada, Montreal, and then it's gonna go up again. Believe it or not. So it's gonna get funky. It's going to get real funky. All right, I'm looking at my connection here. You guys are saying it's good, but it's still going back and, red, white. So I'm sorry for everybody that was in the phone, waiting on the phones. We'll try to be back as soon as possible tomorrow. But right now, I mean, we went to the phone calls. We got to go. This shit ain't working out. Sorry about that. But listen, I want to thank everybody who called in, everybody who donated the super chat. Like I said, we'll try to be back as soon as possible tomorrow or during the week. We got a lot to talk about. We got a pound for pound discussion. Where does Usyk rank in the all-time great list? Where does he go from here? Rematch-wise, how does this fight look? Again, there's a lot to talk about. So we'll try to be back as soon as possible. Again, I apologize for the phone lines and the internet. It's my bad. Well, not really my bad. I mean, I tried to fix this quickly, but it ain't working out. But listen, we were on the air for about an hour and a half. We'll try to keep it short. And again, we got fights coming up on ESPN. We got a lot of fights coming up. So we'll try to be back. Hey, if something dramatic happens, you never know. We might do another one today. I don't know. But shout out to you, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Catch you in the next one, fellas. Take it easy.